Hello, my crafty friends. I made a video yesterday where I showed that you could make one of those flip books with jelly printed envelopes instead of plain envelopes. And I had a question about that, and so I want to try to explain my thinking on it. I didn't actually go back and watch the video to be sure, but I do think that I said that if you did this, you wouldn't have to put paper on there to decorate it. Now, when I said that, what I actually meant was you have a background already. I didn't mean that I wouldn't do anything else to it besides, let this just be it. Just put it together and that's it. But I did mean that the background work of putting papers on here would be done. That's what I meant. And so somebody asked, well, if you're not going to be decorating it, how do you feel about when you put the, glue the envelopes together and you've got that kind of patchworky look on the back? Would that look good or not? Would that be something you would be happy with or not? And that's a good question. The only way to know that is to actually play with it and see what you think. Now, if I used this one, the way I was doing these before, the back one is one size, everything else is a different size. So you could do this one like this and then work from there. And add all your other flips. But I think I'm going to go ahead and work with it like I did with all the others, which means I'm going to glue this down. And this one is going to be, let me put something inside it, just a second. Okay, I had this piece of kind of cardstock stuff that was from a pad of typing paper. And so I just cut a piece of that will fit. I'm just going to stick it in here. And that will give this a little extra stability. Okay. And I'm going to glue that down. So this is our background. And I'm going to start. Now you can see here that when you do this, you're going to have this that isn't decorated. So you're going to have to do something here anyway, unless you cut right across here and make this your pocket. But then you've got this. So you probably wouldn't want to do this and not do anything else to it anyway. But let's just see what it would look like. If we do this. And like I said with the other ones, I'm going to leave a little bit of space. It's probably actually easier to see with this because, see, when I fold it up, you can see there's a little bit of space right there. The painted papers make that easier to see. Okay, so let's start with that. And then I mentioned it, and so I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. This is only, well, it's only partly painted. Let's just use ones that are painted completely because that will make it easier. Let me just get out the ones that are because I have quite a few of them that are only painted on one side. And actually that might be, if you wanted to put paper here for writing, then it might be good to do it this way, or you could just write on this side. So that is something you could use and not cover up your jelly print by using some that are just jelly printed on one side, and then you can put writing paper on the other side. That is something to think about. And we may end up using one of these anyway, but I want to see what I can do if I just use the envelopes that that I already have. So far, I think that looks good. And once again, I'm leaving a little bit of space. And so far, this is what it looks like on the back. And so let's do a flip down right here. Actually, I may flip that one a flip down. I said flip down, and that's what I meant, but I'm going to do it down here. And that way I can make this into a pocket right here. You kind of have to think about those things as you're going, so that you, and you want to get the edges. That's what the back looks like so far. And all of these others, so far, the fronts are all still plain. We haven't really messed up the fronts of any of these so far. Just the back of this one, which I think it kind of looks cool. You could do some doodling on it and take advantage of that patchwork. Okay. Now then, do I have more than one of these? I don't think I do, but this was the other one that would fit on here. So we're going to glue that one on there too. That's what the back of it looks like now. I kind of like that look. But that's one of those things you have to decide for yourself. Do you like that or not? And since it's the back, you could do this. This could be your whole flat book and flip book, and then you could glue this down somewhere, and it would, your back where everything's patchwork would never even show. And then you could just work on the fronts of these. Now, because of this, you do have to add in something, but nobody's going to make one of these books and not do anything with it, not add anything to it. I can't imagine why you would bother. So I don't think that's a problem. It's not a problem for me. Let's look at, I think I am going to do it like this or this, but I'm just watching what I do, because I want to make sure, what you do in here, you need to keep aware that you're going to have these flaps shutting in Now, I think on this one, it wouldn't bother me a bit because of this to go ahead and add a, and this might be a fun, I'm just thinking out loud here, a fun way to add one on. Now, it's still a little taller than the other ones, but since it's in front, I think it's interesting if this is going to be a book on its own and you're not going to put it inside something. It would need to be inside a pretty big book anyway because of the size of these envelopes. Let's look here. These are 5.5. The biggest one is 5.5 by almost 9. So if you add this one in, then your whole total length would be 9.5. And I've never done it before where this actually stuck out above what we've got here. Now, another thing you could do, which I have done, is fold it and make a flap. No, because you would still want, that was the back, and that's why that worked. So you could do this. And I think it looks pretty cool. And then what you do back here, that's for you to decide. But, stop it. I'm going to, I think, do with this. And I kind of like the idea. Oh, no, backwards. Like this. Oh, I kind of like the idea of coming back up here, except it covers up that envelope. And part of the joy of this is that you can see several envelopes. So we're going to do it like this. And it'll flip out like this. Okay. Now this one has a little bit of gluey stuff on it already. And that's okay. And we're going to do like we did all the others. We're going to leave a little bit of space for it to flip down because we're going to put something in there. I don't know what. That's something. Okay, now I had one thing I told you. Oh, here's a smaller one. I was going to say is that if you don't have a smaller one, you can cut one. And this one is torn and kind of messed up already, so this would be a good one to do this with. Although you could just glue it shut and have it not be a pocket. But it's the same size as that one. But I like it, so I think I'm gonna trim it. And I'm going to glue this shut first so that, no, because I want to add it on. Okay, let's just cut it. We'll just see how this works. There, it's torn right here. So I'm going to make sure to cut below that. And I'm going to leave enough that I could use this for something. So I'm going to cut right there. And then we will put this right here. Okay. And this will come over here and glue down right there. Okay. I've got extra glue there. Okay. Now we've got this way we've got a pocket here that's already decided. So we will need to do something over here to make this solid so we can use this as a pocket from the front. And one thing we could do, and we might as well, is take this piece and attach it. And I'm just going to put a little mark so I know how far out to go with my glue. And I'm going to, if I can see my marks, do that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this and just run a line right here. All right, let me see what's going on here. So that will close our pocket. Almost made that too far over where it wouldn't even catch. Okay, so now we have turned this into a pocket, a very usable pocket. And we just used some more jelly print on the back. No problem. Now on this one, if I want this to be a pocket as well, and I may or may not, I could trim it right here and then decorate this inside part right there. But I don't think everything has to be a pocket. So I'm going to find some jelly print, and I'm going to cover that up right there and continue our patchworky theme. Hold on a second. Let me look. Okay, I forgot I had this sitting right there. So I'm going to use this. And I think what I'm going to do is tear it right here. And then, let's see if I can get this tape off of it. This is something that my daughter used as wrapping paper. And so it's still got tape on it where I saved it from the trash. There we go. Now I can glue this just like this right on over here, or I can take off a little bit of this, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So I like that. Let's just take off a little bit more so I can show some of that. Let's see how that'll look. Like that. And I'm just going to glue that on there. Obviously, I didn't get this side very good. Okay, and this is deli paper. It's pretty thin, so it's not gonna interfere with our folding this envelope up at all. But even if it was thicker paper, you could still do it. You just have to probably, use a bone folder or something to make sure it goes down. Now, I did notice that's um, a little bit taller. I thought I was going to tear it off, but I think I'll just trim it off. Okay, so there's this. And down here, it's the same way. It's a little bit long there. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Now I could trim the top of this. No, because I've glued everything down here. Never mind. I was going to say I could trim the top of this and make it into a pocket. But that wouldn't work it would have to be a skinny pocket, which you could do. You could just use this much of it and put like a bookmark size something in there. That would work. Okay, so let's think about these. I like the idea of this one being a pocket from right here. So I want to trim a little bit of this off. Let's use the trimmer so it'll be straight. Okay, and then I need to put something over this part so that this pocket, doesn't go on, so that there's a bottom to this pocket. Now I could take this envelope, since it's the same size, and just glue it right there and also make this into a pocket. That would be interesting. But I would need to leave that little fold up gap there if I did that. Or I could do this and make it into a pocket. Or I could glue it all down and just use it to cover this up. I could do that. But I think I'm going to try using we could just also use some book paper. Now that's, maybe you want something a little thicker since this is the bottom of a pocket. One thing you could do, except it's not the right size, but you could put just a pretty image on here to make the bottom of the pocket. But she's not, we might use her over here though. We'll think about that. We'll think about that because she's pretty. Okay, there's pink there. We could use this. This is a piece of wallpaper. But I don't really like it. So sometimes you have to audition a bunch of stuff before you find the right actor for your page. Okay, here's a piece that will work. Okay, let's just trim this one up and use it. And then if we put it right here, You want to go right to where that paper starts to be torn. That was convenient for measuring. And I'm lining it up over here because I'm not sure how straight that is right there. So. I don't know why, but I like it better like that. Okay. So I'm going to run a little bit of glue right along here. And then right here, so that I'm leaving some space there for that pocket. And then right here. Okay. Now, if my glue didn't ooze out in there, and it didn't, then I have a pocket right there. Okay. Now, I did evidently go a little bit beyond where I should have right there. Just a tad. And since it folded back nicely for me, I'm just going to trim it off. Okay. That doesn't really change it much in here, but it makes it flip up easier. So it was worth doing. All right. Now for her, we could make this one a pocket from this direction and have her be the thing that closes it up on this side. So let's trim this and see what we think. Okay. And we need to take off up here. Just enough to straighten that up. I don't think I like that. And then, but I want to leave some of this showing. So I may trim it a little bit more on this side because we're really not, there's not a whole lot of picture right there. So we're not really messing with the pretty picture of the girl, of the fairy. And then over here, I think I want to tear that side just because I like a combination of torn and straight edges. And this edge is not, oh, let's use this. I don't know if it'll work good. I've just barely got this new ruler and I'm not really good at using it yet. But in some ways I really, really love it. And in other ways I like just my old regular ruler better. So, okay. Now then we will glue her on here. And I think that looks pretty. I think she looks good there. That page will be, now it's done. You know, so far nothing else is really done. But this page is now done. But I'm going to ink her first. Because that makes it feel done. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now once again, we need to leave this for it to turn, so I don't want to take her all the way. So I think, and I'm going to do this one too, just so you can see. Let's ink that up where that looks better, and I think this one will too. Okay, I'm still working with this a little bit wet. It would really be better if you let the envelopes dry before you started doing all this stuff to them. So I'm having to be a little more careful with everything. Um, okay. All right. And just in case it shows a little bit, if some of the gray shows through, I can ink it here, and that'll make it less obvious on the sides too. Now then, when I glue her in, see how nicely that looks? It doesn't glare gray at you like it did before. So I'm going to go straight down here, as straight as I can. Obviously not very straight. Okay, come on. And then around this. I don't know how far that goes. So I'm going to also go around this. Okay. I'm going to put her in right there. And as I press this down, I'm going to press back um, towards this side. So hopefully that will push any glue out this way and not into my pocket. I don't know if it really helps, but it makes me feel better. All right. Now then we need to trim this one open, or else I might forget it was going to be a pocket. Okay. Come on. Okay, there we go. You don't have to take off very much. And there's your pocket. Okay. So right now, this is what we have. And you could go ahead and add something else to flip from here if you want to. You know, you could flip this. Oh no, because I made it into a pocket, I can't. I could, however, do this if I wanted to, but I don't think that's really helpful. So we're going to let this be the book. Okay, we're not going to add any more envelopes to it. We're just going to finish covering up these two spots right here. Here's another place that needs to be inked. Okay. Now I've got just these two spots, and I have to decide what do I want to do with them. I'm going to glue this back down a little bit. It was flipping up, and we don't want that to happen. I don't think I want this to be a pocket. I have a pocket here and a pocket here and a pocket here. So that's 1, 2, 3 pockets so far, and I think I'll make this one a pocket, but I'm not going to make this one a pocket. So let's see what we could put in there. Let me, hold on just a second, let me think. Okay, now this, and as you see, my fold is not exactly straight, but we're just going to go with it. This is a card that came from an invitation set. I think it was like for wedding invitations or something. But I just scored it right here. And I'm going to glue it right there with, you know, with this folded up. So I can know it'll fold over that. And that way when this flips up, you can also flip this up and you can write on it. Now, nothing else is really white. So you could leave this white like that. You could put writing paper on it. You could just ink it and make it not white, or you could just leave it. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it, because when you flip that up, I'm okay with, actually I'm not. I thought I was, because this has some white on it. Well, there's some white here. The pink here and the pink here down here is one reason I went ahead and decided to use this, besides it was just sitting there handy. Okay. Let's just do it. And I'm going to put this in here and try to center it on this envelope, because it's not quite the same size as the envelope. All right. So now what we have is a flip up with a flip up, and a flip down with a pocket, and a pocket with our flip over here, and then we have this. But I do want to do something here, and this is another one of those things I will finish later, turning it into what I want for the final product. But I want you to see kind of what it looks like if you do this, that I suggested you might want to do. Now you can decide if you want to play with this or not. Right here I need something, and I think I do want to make this a pocket, so it needs to be something that I can work on. But let's ink first, because that makes everything better. right. Now we're going to flip this over and ink it here. Because it might show. Let's see. Yep, pretty good. All right. And now we need a piece of something to go here. And I wonder if this is, I wonder if that's big enough. Nope, it's not big enough. Okay. I want to see if I can find in my scraps a piece of jelly print that's like on cardstock. I think that'll make this stronger. So I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this piece, this wallpaper, but I think it kind of goes with this over here, kind of balance it out. So that's what I'm going to do. And the first thing we want to do is trim it so that there is a straight line somewhere. Okay. Now then, we need to decide where we want the top to be. So we will trim that right there. And then we want the bottom to be right inside that line. Good. And then I'm going to tear this edge, which will also mimic that over there. Ah, that ruler works great on this wallpaper. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit right along this line. And along this back here. And then I'm going to put the rest of it here. And I just decided after I did all of that that I need to not put it as far up as I had planned, as I was showing you that I was going to put it. So when I put it over here, I'm not going to do it as close to the top as I had been showing it. Which makes me happy I inked it. Actually, I'm going to move it quite a bit because I want it to be oh, that's backwards. Ah, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Okay. That is not what I wanted. I want the jaggedy edge over here. Okay, see? Pay attention, folks. Alright. Let's start again. We're going to put some stuff down here and out here. And then let's put a little bit right there. That's trying to come off. Okay. Y'all were probably sitting there saying, Lisa, that's not where you were going to do it. And I forgot to ink it. I forgot to ink it, and I really wanted to ink it. Okay. So I think I saved it. All right, let's see if we can ink it here. I'm going to have to ink again in a minute because I think I want to put a, well, I may not. Let me think. That's really pretty accessible, but you can't really see what's in there. I'm going to leave it like that for right now. I can always come back and cut this out a little bit like this. I thought about using a circle punch, but that would only cut out, well, it might cut out a big enough one. But I think I'm going to leave it and come back and do that when I decide what I'm going to put in it. That way I can decide how much I want it to show. Okay, so for right now, with my Gelli printed envelopes, I have a pocket here and a pocket here, the pocket here, and a journaling spot there. Ooh, that one got folded underneath. And a pocket here. And our book folds up to look like this. So for right now, that's how it looks. Now, it's pretty, but to make it useful, we'll need to do more stuff to it. Add tags and I may, you know, add some real decorations onto it, especially something here, you know, it would need, I think, a focal point. One problem with this being the same width as this is that now this catches when I try to fold it under, so I have to kind of be careful with it, which is doable. It's not an issue. But if this had been a little bit smaller envelope, I wouldn't have to do that. I could take it and trim it right here and then glue it shut again and make it smaller, but I really like that flower, so I'm just going to leave it like it is, and I'll just pick it up when I do that. So this is what we've got. And I hope this answers that question. And it was fun, so I'm glad I did it. So thanks for the question, Karen, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.